All right. Always got to give this like a few seconds. I think we're live. How's it going, Dalton?
It is going. And as usual, the stupidity mill never seems to run dry.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, isn't it? Anyway, Tom will be here shortly. He just DM'd me a moment ago. So he'll be hopping on along with all the usual suspects. We got Jorge from Bounty in the Comics in the chat. How's it going, dude? He's hopefully he'll be able to make it maybe next week. Maybe John F. Trent will join us as well. So yeah, we'll just kind of shoot the shit a little bit, let people roll in, and we can start talking about the joy that is cancel culture. In this dumbass article from Syfy Wire. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. So what have you been up to, Dalton? How's life been treating you? You been doing any more YouTube stuff?
I uploaded a video a few weeks ago that was like a response to Kyle from Secular Talk, because normally I really like his shit, but ever since the George Floyd riots have been a thing, he has been obfuscating like a motherfucker. And it's just and I get why, because Kyle has always kind of had a blind spot for Antifa, basically, and he always buys into well, they're called anti-fascists, so how could they possibly conceivably do anything wrong thing. And it's just I always knew that was one of his areas where he couldn't be trusted, but given how often that's in the news of late, and how he doesn't seem to think that the burning down of people's businesses or the decapitating of statues is in any way important. Like,
yeah,
he was yelling and that was what made me make the video. He was yelling about how nobody cares about the statues, bro. Nobody cares about the culture war stuff. Not while we're in the middle of a pandemic. And I'm just like, Kyle, are you okay? Because that's some hard disingenuousness right there. Yeah, but that was the last video I made. I'm planning on making a whole bunch of videos, but they're all sort of still in the works, because it depends on when I can get a good day when my mind is clear and everything can, because of course I have insomnia issues, which make doing stream of consciousness a real motherfucker.
Oh, dude, I feel you there. I was actually supposed to make a video last night, but I was streaming with Bounding into Comics, pretty late, and it was like, yeah, this shit ain't happening. But it's like there's a lot of stuff gotta cover, man. There's a follow-up article to the Whisper Network. I'm probably gonna be doing a live stream on Sunday talking about that. And there's all these articles coming out about cancel culture and how cancel culture is not a thing.
Yeah,
and
totally
this
not conceivably a thing, and totally not going to come for you the second you disagree with us.
Oh yeah, and the funny thing is, it's like the examples that the lady in this article keeps bringing up is like, people in power can't be canceled. It's like bullshit.
Have you never seen a person lose their livelihood over having a dissenting opinion? Because that's pretty much always been a thing.
Well, yeah, that's the big thing that she doesn't talk about at all in the article, was the fact that normal people who get canceled lose their jobs. Rich people who get canceled are fine for the most part. As long as they have wads of cash, they're give it a couple years and they'll be fine.
It's not even. It doesn't even necessarily need to go that far. I mean, there's always been rules of the aristocracy that if you violate those rules of aristocracy, you get disinherited and shit like that. This is just a modern version of that. It's the aristocracy with all of the clout and all of the chutzpah, but none of the accountability. And that's my biggest problem with it. These people want to be treated like elected versions of the aristocracy, but they don't want to engage in any of the meritocracy that used to be beholden onto the aristocracy.
But Dalton, meritocracy is a tool of white supremacy and whiteness.
Yes, I should have known. And the fact that African countries have a similar set of requirements on their aristocracy, totally irrelevant to anything whatsoever. The fact that these rules basically come from the Indo-Europeans who were people of color, totally irrelevant. Sure.
Totally irrelevant. Welcome, Tom. How are you doing, buddy?
Peachy.
We're live, by the way, just in case you hadn't.
I see the little red light there. Thank you.
Figures as much. Oh, there was another thing I thought was really funny that Tim Pool was talking about how apparently the press is saying that Antifa is being infiltrated by white supremacists, and it's these white supremacists that are causing all the problems.
It's the white boys and white girls that just have nothing better to do.
Well, the problem with that is there aren't enough white supremacists in the world for there to be infiltrators on that scale.
Well, if you listen to Vox, there's roughly 11 million people in this country that have alt-right leanings.
That's bullshit.
Okay, but the problem with that logic is when Richard Spencer held the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, less than 1,000 people showed up.
Yeah, they're talking about China. I mean, they have to be because I don't know where they're getting this number from.
No, they're talking about the U.S. They're not talking about China.
No, they're full of shit. Because
they are full of shit, dude.
Well,
but here's the thing. This is how they skew things. They say, people have 11 million people have alt-right leanings or beliefs is what they're saying, and it could be like free speech. A bunch of people believe in free speech, therefore they have alt-right tendencies.
Right, because authoritarian fascists are so well known to believe in free speech, and you totally never get shot in the back of the head for dissenting from the party's views or anything in fascist regimes or white supremacist regimes. Totally never a thing.
Yep. Bunch of crap. It's a bunch of crap. But I just thought that was funny because it just shows you the fact that they're just trying to deflect. And I can't believe you have people, that are out there that are just kind of, blindly going to bat for Antifa. It's ridiculous. I love this, man. I'm Control-Alt-Delete. Go ahead, cancel me. You've been Control-Alt-Deleted. Yeah. Scary shit, man. Scary shit. I have a lot of articles. We're not coming tonight. I can't run late tonight like I have been. I have to get up early. Which is part of the reason why I haven't done a video this week because of my getting up bitch ass early for work to help onboard one of our new guys. So no videos till later.
Isn't balancing life and insomniac sleep deprivation fun?
Yeah, I have way too many hobbies.
I mean, on this other subject, I'm sure a lot of black people looking at this and the way the media is portraying this, and they're probably just like, you know what? If this is the world I got to live in, I'm going to side with the white supremacists then. I guess I'm white supremacist. We're going to create a bunch of Clinton Bigsby's or whatever.
A friend of ours, Mr. E2099, was telling a story on the stream the other day about how he got in an argument with his white college professor who was teaching a logic class, mind you.
Let me guess, he's black as well.
He is. Very much so.
Yeah. And he gets in an argument with his white logic professor, and I use the term in quotes, as to the merits of Antifa and BLM. And the way he tells it, the professor almost asked him to leave the room because he was a black man who refused to, prostrate at the altar of BLM and Antifa, and he wasn't having it. And the professor, apparently, according to his own words, had friends in Antifa. And I'm like,
oh, I'm sure he does. And I bet they're all white too.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like, okay, this is a logic professor. A logic professor in 2020, ladies and gentlemen, because of course I come from a philosophy background, and that alone just makes me want to beat this guy senseless. You can't.
Oh God, Undead Quinn is right, man. It's cue the woke racist skit. Have you seen that, Dalton?
Talk about white splaining. Jesus.
I believe so. Yes.
Oh my God, that video is fucking hilarious, man. It is absolutely hilarious. I have to find it. I have to find it so I can show it to you, man. It's primo stuff. Trying to remember who sent it to me. I think it was Gary. See if I can find the last Friday Night Tights.
How is Gary? I haven't talked to him in forever in a freaking day.
Gary is doing great. His channel, man, is massively taken off.
Yeah, it blew the fuck up. I knew that much.
Yeah. So he's doing well. Let me pause this and share it. So I need to close out some crap first. Make sure I get the right tab when I share it. Here we go. And share. There we go. This thing is it's primo. You'll appreciate it.
Oh yeah, this thing.
When me and Brad first met, I didn't think we'd get along, but turns out we kind of agree on everything. Your racial identity is the most important thing. Everything should be looked at through the lens of race.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. We both have a lot of opinions about people of color, even though we barely know any.
Whoa, I mean, when you put it like that, yeah.
Yeah,
they both worship at the altar of the Frankfurt School and deconstructionalism of various kinds. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Classifying them. We both think minorities are a united group who think the same and act the same.
And vote the same. You don't want to lose your black card. Sorry, I don't know. I just think we should
Roll back discrimination laws so we can hire based on race again. Jinx, now you owe me a Coke.
White actors should only do voices for white cartoon characters.
I've been saying that for years. Stick to your own.
Us white people, we have so much privilege.
I agree. It is a privilege to be white. Ask him about interracial dating.
All I said is that black men who date white women have internalized racism, and white men that date ethnic women are fetishizing them.
Guys against interracial dating now. Like, am I being pranked? Did Boomer put you up to this?
You know that taco place is white.
Oh, boy.
White people should be making white foods like Kraft macaroni and cheese, no seasoning, not even salt. It's like he's a mind reader. I mean, I've been pushing for segregation forever, and my man does
Right,
what?
because
I
the
created an
French
improv comedy
totally
show
did
exclusive.
revolutionize cuisine at all. I'm sure you didn't just piss off 80% of France there.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, it's true. I mean, this is the thing that we keep bringing up.
It's like the guy who he was a professor and he race switched and gender swapped some rhetoric from Mein Kampf and got
Boghossian, Peter Boghossian.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, when you think about it, it's that because of course the Nazis, and most people don't know this, got most of their shit from what's referred to as the Frankfurt School of art studies, and so does modern day social justice. It's basically Hegel's thesis antithesis dichotomy made into an elaborate hall of mirrors.
I gotta send you this one video. There's this philosophy professor that does an interview with I think they're called New Directions. It's the website which speaks out against the the wokeness stuff, and it's actually a really good interview. Now, let's finish this off real quick.
For ethnic people.
Guy segregates comedy on my birthday.
White people need to stop wearing dreadlocks and they need to stop appropriating black people's music.
Shaved heads and country music, the way God intended.
You know all white people are racist.
You will make me listen to nothing but country music over my dead and
really
cold.
racist.
You know, he just kicked the guy out of the organization for having a
thing.
black girlfriend, but if you can promise me he's still really racist, we'll consider letting him back in. Black people should only shop at black businesses.
I guess the only thing we really disagree about is
When they're not being burnt down by Antifa.
Yeah, when they're not being burnt down by Antifa. Yeah, pretty much.
But I tell you, though, if we can narrow that down to a certain group of tiny-hatted white people, I think we can come to an understanding.
Technically, I don't consider Jewish people white.
Neither
because...
do I.
Well, when you...
Hang on. I think there's one
I'm
more
still
thing.
cool with interracial cucking, right?
Yeah, as long as you pay for it. Sex work should be celebrated.
And that is the only thing that I agree with them on. Literally the only thing. Like, legalize prostitution and make it a fucking legal market.
Yeah, I mean, but this is a perfect good example of the whole thing with like how racist this nonsense is. I mean, when you see the talking points made side by side, it's like, how can you people defend this shit?
Yeah, and it's the same paradigms too, which is the hilarious thing. It's all the Frankfurt School, redefinitions and critical theory nonsense that powers this shit.
Yep. It's terrible. I really wanted to talk about Star Trek tonight, but this article came up. and thankfully it's not as heavy as the shit that we covered last week. It's more comedic at how stupid it is.
I still wish I could have gotten on for that, but StreamYard hates phones intermittently, so it was impossible.
Oh, what you got here, Tom?
Oh, there's this new species of mini great white shark called salmon sharks. I want one.
I saw that.
And I would so tickle its belly like that.
And I swear to God, it's just a baby shark. It's a baby great
Probably
white.
is. What pisses me off is it's dead here. Why show me it dead? Anyway.
I don't know.
I want a baby Jaws.
Yeah. I saw that.
I could totally train him.
Animals.
My first thought was that's not a new species. It's just a baby great white. It has to be.
I'm not sure. Looking at the teeth, great white teeth aren't like that.
Well, salmon shark are a thing. I don't know if they look like that though. I know that they are a.
Yeah, but again, like these have like the sharper kind of teeth, or like this one looks like he's got like they have like teeth like makos or whatever, to where great whites have the thicker.
Yeah.
teeth.
Apparently, they're smaller.
I want one.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Anyway, I've got some stuff I need to witch.
It's worth a hand.
Plane, right?
There's some what?
I've got some stuff that I need to witch plane.
Okay.
Apparently.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. When we get to it, we'll definitely do that. Roof Queen 92, salsa shark, our shark.
You're gonna need a. Hey, we got a hot ginger in the chat there.
We do. There is Rowan Ginger Raven in the chat. Maybe we should send her a link. What's up? What's up, Rowan? How are you doing?
There is way too much sausage on here.
Send her the link then. And there'll only be more once Drew shows up.
Beware the Drew.
Beware the Drew. Drew cracks me up. Let's see. I gotta share this when I can find it. Okay, here we go. Starships have lower decks. Shark Trek versus Space Sharknado. Oh man, fucking lower decks. How terrible. You should call your Thursday show Toxic Masculinity. Because you have the Toxic Femininity show on on Tuesdays, right? Yeah,
just to have a. What isn't every show we do toxic masculinity, basically?
By their definitions, yeah.
No, I figured it would be the whiteness stream or the white fragility stream. I don't know.
The white fragility stream.
Yeah, the white fragility stream. All right, damn it. Drew is taking his sweet time. So, I don't know if we'll get Script Doctor or not. I know that he's been up pretty late, so he'll probably pass out.
I took a nap.
Oh, good. I should give you my number so I can call you when you don't show up. Where are you at?
I'll just throw my number in the thing here.
All right. Cool. So once Rowan gets here, we'll just go ahead and get started.
Just beware when you answer the first time, you'll hear, "Who the fuck is this?
Who the fuck is this?
How the fuck did you get this number?" Or I could be like the bolder one and go,
you Tom.
Did you get this number?
I got it from you, Tom. All right, Ron. I thought Tom was going to send you the link, but apparently I need
Rowan, I did.
No, you did? Oh, okay. Cool. So the link has been sent, so you should be able to join, and we'll get this party started. How are you, Tom? What have you been up to?
Oh, doing coke, drinking beers, smoking weed.
So the usual.
Yeah.
Blackjack and hookers.
Noise.
With blackjack and hookers. I love Futurama.
Rolling fatty, smoking blunts. Who smokes the blunts? We smoke the blunts.
Tom.
I don't know. I watched
Tom smokes the blunts.
I watched half of Spartacus earlier. The movie, not the new TV show.
Okay.
What's going to be
Yeah.
new TV show? It's like 10 years old.
Yeah, I was to say it's not that new.
The old one.
Yeah. I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus.
The new one is not Spartacus. Is that what you're saying?
It is not. No, I don't know. I've heard good things about it. I've just never seen it. And then, like, didn't the lead actor like die of cancer or some shit like that?
Yeah, I want to say that happened. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's like you remember that show? I think it was called The Masquerade. It was based off of Vampire the Masquerade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the lead actor he died. I want to say like in a car accident, and he had like a twin brother, and they were trying to get him to take over the role, and that didn't happen. But the thing that was really funny is it was based off of it was based off the role playing game Vampire the Masquerade, but it was a spelling production, so it was classy.
Oh, Feelings in Hallways, the OG ones.
Yeah, very classy. Full of beautiful people. Even the Nosferatu, which are supposed to be ugly, were beautiful. It's kind of funny. Except for the Bruja dude. That dude was ugly. Anyway, I digress.
I'm getting so sick of generically pretty actors in teen.
Don't say that. That's how we're getting this pansexualization of everything.
Well, I know, but it's like, can we not at least have some variety in the generic prettiness, please?
That's where this all started.
What's being?
Is he listening to himself?
I was saying, what's being pansexualized besides Lando these days?
Well, no. We want some diversity among the pretty people.
I don't mean demographic diversity. I mean aesthetic diversity, because
that's the way it started, though.
They're all the same useless. Like,
I'm mostly picking on you, but it's true.
Yeah, I know. The problem with the generic movie star prettiness that I have is nobody actually, and this is particularly a problem now because, of course, anyone that actually looks masculine is haram. The people that are generically pretty in modern shows don't look like they're formidable or like their attractiveness goes anywhere further than skin deep. This is the biggest problem that I have.
So Hollywood for the past 100 years.
Dalton just wants twinks on screen. That's
no,
all.
I don't want twinks on screen. I am a twink. I don't want any more of them.
Okay, now it's starting to make sense.
My issue is that I have.
You want more police officers in tight uniforms? Gotcha.
No, I want more male eye candy that actually looks.
That's what I was waiting for. Yes.
Hey, hang on. So have you guys?
He
seen
wants
this?
more bears. That's what
he wants more bears.
No,
did you see the
thank
CV
you.
article about Bugs Bunny and cross dressing? I have not.
What? They're going after him now? Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, they already went after Looney Tunes because apparently Elmer Fudd is now supporting gun control.
Oh yeah, I remember that bullshit.
So
My
dumb.
white male wage is just too much to handle. They had to take away my guns.
He's going to be using a scythe now.
Very quiet. We're hunting the NRA.
Did you hear their excuse though? It's like, oh, there's only so many things you can do with a gun. It's like that motherfucking thing was attached to his hip.
I love this. Make Picard gay. Indeed, make Picard gay.
You mean they haven't already? I thought that's what that whole thing with Ian McKellen was about.
I am so sorry, oh captain, my captain, but your day is long past.
Yeah, it's a real shame as to the state of role playing games and what's been going on with the World of Darkness stuff. If you've picked up 5th edition, it's woke as fuck. And Bloodlines 2 is probably going to be woke as fuck as well, which is really sad.
If he's a twink, then he doesn't fit the narrative. He's got to get the fuck out of here. We're supposed to berate.
No, it gets worse because I'm gay, I'm physically disabled, and I'm a practicing occultist. So
oh my god, you're a triple shiny. You need to get the hell out of here. You do not belong here. We're too all right for this.
Dalton is one of us.
I know. I'm picking on him. I'm sure he understands that.
Yeah. Also, I happen to be dating a black man before anyone goes and plays.
Oh, now the truth comes out. Now we know why.
Are you finally hooking up with Corrupt?
No, I didn't. that just opens up a whole can of worms of awkward. But that's neither here nor there. That's stuff we should discuss behind the stream.
No, fair enough. All right, let's go ahead and
we got a whole different kind of BBC to talk about here now.
Yeah, we certainly do.
Usually it's just the Doctor Who BBC, but anyway.
All right.
So we're all racist bigots. Okay, let's get into this. just to pre-warn you here.
Okay.
What'd you say his name was? Dylan or
Dalton?
Dalton. Sorry, I'm sorry, Dalton.
It's no problem. We've been on streams together before, but I'm glad to see you didn't remember me.
Oh, well. I'm fucking tired.
I just go way back.
Don't feel bad. I thought he said Dylan before. I didn't. Yeah.
It's all right.
He's all right. Okay. What complaints about cancel culture forget about real world witch hunts? Even though cancel culture is basically the modern equivalent.
If you throw them in the water and they float, they're a duck.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. I think that's something that everybody needs to remember. They're a duck if they float.
Because witches are made of wood.
Witches are made of wood, and that's the reason why they burn. Okay. Cancel culture is everywhere, apparently. I love that. It's like, starting off with the question or questioning, this whole thing. It's everywhere.
The concept of cancel culture.
Yeah. And the internet and public discourse are often overrun with bad faith dog whistling. We'll get to that in a second. And endless cycles of whataboutism, but current barrage of high-profile individuals bellowing from the rooftops that they are being censored by evil cancel culture has proven particularly irritating. Okay, first off, I would like to point out that this article is in bad faith.
We have the Piri Chan in the chat, by the way.
We do. Here's Rowan. How's it going? Apparently, mic is not working. While Rowan goes and figures that out, we will go to
maybe Eskimo it's just because we're so masculine. She needs permission to speak.
Maybe, probably not. Eskimo Phono for $1.99. It's been a minute. Indeed, dude, it has been a minute. What have you been up to, man? I haven't seen you in a while. But occasionally I still get not tweets, but DMs from Parrothead, and Parrothead's DMs are not safe for stream. Anyway, sorry, Ron, we can't hear you. So I'll let you kind of figure out the whole thing. Oh, you're muted.
She's probably having sound issues.
Yeah, it looks like she is because I can't unmute her. Okay. All right, so let her figure that out. Any comments so far about this illustrious article that we're looking at? Really, Dalton? Nothing?
Okay, it's taking me a minute to process this much. Fuck you. My darling person who wrote this article. What the fuck is her or his?
Kaylee.
Okay, Kaylee, my darling. You cannot simultaneously believe that logic and reason are arbitrary social constructs and then call out other people's emotionally based arguments for being in bad faith. It cannot be done. That is fundamental bedrock inconsistency here.
And like I said, this article starts off in bad faith with apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, okay. So Rowan can't hear us. Are you with us now? Apparently not.
I like my answer back to her.
Eskimo Phono for $1.99. Working and moving. Well, congratulations and hello, Tom.
Well, hello, Eskimo Phono.
And
I just like saying that name. It's cancel culture casino. We're past the 15 minutes.
Cancel culture casino. $2 super chat. Just saying. Someone else is canceling me. Jeez, yeah, they really are. If you want to send Culture Casino the link, by all means.
More sausage. Jeez.
More sausage. Anyway, yeah. So hopefully Rowan can get the issues with her microphone and worked out the audio stuff.
She's like, I can't hear y'all. I'm like, yeah, the feeling's mutual.
It's too much to ask that StreamYard actually functions for a stream.
Oh, Stephen Walton showed up.
Oh,
He must have some coffee in his butt.
Yep. We should send him a link too.
I'll
Steven,
just send it to everybody.
send to everyone. Just post it on.
Just post it in the chat.
No.
Just post it in Twitter like I have before in the past. I've done that a couple damn times.
That's what we want is random crazy people showing up.
You know what's funny is I've been so fortunate that the few times I've done that, I have not had random crazy people show up, or worse yet, not such random crazy people show up. If you get my gist, because there's more than enough people who I'm sure would love to crash one of our streams and just start some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'd let them on the stream, but anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Eskimono Phono.
Eskimono Phono for another $1.99 super chat. I am trusting you, Tom.
Oh, don't
with
do that.
Bill and Ted.
I hope so, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. If Bill and Ted is woke, Tom is fired, and we riot. Anyway,
I hope not, man.
No, I hope it's not too.
It would be bogus if it were.
Totally. Let's see here. Okay, so moving right along. God, their fucking website is atrocious. Okay. What is most aggravating about the current glut of arguments, aside from the fact that nobody sees the irony in the most famous and influential writers on the planet complaining via a major media outlet? I'm guessing this is the thing that J.K. Rowling and a bunch of other writers signed recently. Holy crap. There we go. We have a faux script doctor.
I am Bizarro Script Doctor. Sub to me. Screw these guys. How you doing, everybody?
I am pre-ordering Taka and Razor.
Okay.
That was my response too. Where were we at? Okay. Via major media outlets, and their free speech is being impeded. Is that the goalpost?
Man, you're using your soy voice. I know this is going to be bad.
Yeah, I know. Is that the goalposts are constantly moving, and as to the very definition of cancel culture? Okay, first off, we have a pretty solid definition of cancel culture. Just throwing that out there. But she will go into a little bit more detail about how all these other things are cancel culture. And again, specifically, this was written about J.K. Rowling, because here, calling out J.K. Rowling's dangerous, scientifically flawed, transphobic rhetoric is cancel culture. Here's the thing. I don't remember what exactly J.K. Rowling said. Rowling, whatever. Someone British can correct me. But
she said that sex and she said essentially that sex and gender are two different things, but that
and biological sex is real. I think is also what she said, and she is calling that unscientific or scientifically flawed
because we're living in clown world,
right? Because the studies that suggest that biological sex has nothing to do with anything totally are unimpeachable and beyond reproach, right, my darling?
Jesus Christ. 20-some bucks for shipping?
Huh? I challenge somebody to show me a really transphobic person. I want to see a person irrationally freak out, frozen in fear, because they saw a trans person. First off, that's what I want to see.
That's every day of my life.
Secondly,
okay, I can't hear faux script doctor. I think it might be something on my end. I'm gonna try to jump out and jump back in.
Oh no, StreamYard's is pulling that shit again.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened? What?
He can't hear Steven.
Oh, what the fuck?
It's weird. It does this sometimes where some people can't hear certain other people.
Yeah,
how does
if somebody jumps in after the person in question does, sometimes it makes it difficult to hear them. Let me try and fix that, and hopefully it doesn't completely boot me out when I try to jump back in.
Okay. No, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Moronic.
Good to know. Okay. While you're doing that, I will go and add Culture Casino. What's up, Culture Casino?
What? How's it going?
What the fuck is that? Get it off the screen.
It's Culture Casino Simone.
That's Karen the Hut.
Karen the Hut.
What's better, UPS or FedEx?
Why is that even a question?
Because fucking FedEx is $3 more.
Okay. Eskimo Phono for $1.99 super chat. They are from TMNT 2, Tom.
Yeah, it's Token Razor from TMNT 2. It's like I'm going to lose out here if I don't make a decision.
Oh, I thought you were calling him transphobic.
Yeah, he's calling me transphobic all the time. I am transphobic. Haven't you seen? I'm transphobic all the time.
Okay, so we have Dalton back. Dalton, can you hear us?
Yes. Huzzah.
Okay, and
For
it
as
sounds
long
like
as-
it sounds like Rowan is able to hear us now too.
Yeah.
Yay!
Fucking
Okay.
everything works now.
Yeah, no, it's my head.
For like 5 seconds.
So,
For like 5 seconds, and Dalton's phone overheats, and then we lose him.
The chat can help me here. Which one's better, UPS or FedEx?
I'll be honest with you. I always preferred UPS.
Mm-hmm.
They are cheaper. We're going
Me
with
too.
UPS.
Yeah.
Nothing ever arrived broken from UPS. Technically, I can say the same thing about FedEx.
Yeah, I don't have anything against FedEx, but I do prefer UPS.
Anyway, Jason C sends the very phallic unicorn.
Ooh, so
Yes.
phallic.
For $1.49. Super sticker. Okay, so yes, J.K. Rowling has very dangerous and scientifically flawed opinions on trans people.
By saying that a boy is a boy and a girl is a girl. Look, I don't hate trans people. I would never want gender dysphoria. That's a terrible condition to ever have. And if you whatever you need to do to pursue life, liberty, and happiness, I am cool with, and it harm none. I am totally cool with it. But there are certain indisputable facts that we all need to agree on.
Like chromosomes.
I don't think this person is on the same wavelength. That's it. That's all I have to say.
All right. We got Drew in the house too.
Well, hey, folks.
Wow.
Oh, right now we got a sexy Filipino.
Wow.
We got it now. This is a stream.
All right. So anyway, I guess you far. No, here it is. Okay. Boycotts of exploitive companies forcing employees to go to work without protection during a pandemic is cancel culture. Negative reviews are cancel culture. Bull fucking shit.
Oh my god.
That is not cancel culture.
Reviews?
When those reviews have nothing whatsoever to do with the quality of the product and everything to do with the quality of the morality of the people making the product, yes, it is cancel culture. If you genuinely write negative reviews of shit, like, for example, say a movie a la Todd Phillips' Joker, that have nothing whatsoever to do with the quality of the art in question, but everything to do with the fact that it triggers your sense of morality, yes, that can conceivably be a part of cancel culture.
Excuse me, freedom of expression is a microaggression.
Yes. Yes. So true.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing.
The very concept of microaggressions makes me macroaggressive. So shut the fuck up.
All right.
Personal privilege.
Partner personal privilege. We got a super chat from Jason C.
No. What was that? What was that fake comics from the other day when they were having the hearing with Bill Barr? I'm going to reclaim my time.
Oh,
I'm going to reclaim my time.
You can't answer reclaiming my time. Ridiculous. Mark C for $20. Keep up the great work, everyone. Thank you, Mark C. Thank you very much.
Jason C.
Sorry, God damn it.
I know, $20. You couldn't even get his name right.
I can't get. Sorry, Jason. I'm so used to Mark C from Gary's stream. So yeah, I feel like a dumbass right now. Sorry, Jason. I can't read. We all know I have a learning disability, right? So
Jason, I love you, brother. I love you, brother. Thank you for supporting this channel.
Yeah. Even though the proprietor of the channel said proprietor is a dumbass. All right.
No, you're not.
I know. I'm glad you pointed that out because I'd feel like a real dick if it was later on. Culture Casino, what are you doing here, man? There we go.
You have to get multiple phalluses, or it's just not a stream.
Yeah, we got multiple phalluses in the palace for $1.49. Another phallic unicorn. What's up, Wes Moody, man? How are you doing? Anyway, so here's my thing with this whole thing with not going and buying a product. Okay, I recently went to my comic shop because of Tom King, and I canceled all my DC books with the exception of Hawkman, which is still a great book. But at this point, and every time he says something dumb. Every time Tom King says something dumb, I'm canceling a DC book, and I only have like 3 left. Man, there's not much to go. Yeah, I mean, I completely stopped collecting Marvel at this point. I canceled all my Marvel. I added some Alterna to my pull list. So yes,
I'm still waiting on an order from them, and I feel like I read something wrong or backwards, and it won't be here till like September.
All right, so we have some more super stickers. Again, the phallic unicorns for $1.49 from Jason C. No, Mark C. Thank you, sir. I would stop giving you money after getting your name wrong. Just throwing it there. Ballistic Brian for $1.99, Australian $1.99 super sticker, and yet another phallic unicorn. Thank you very much, sir.
Besides being phallic unicorns, I would call those the trusty steeds of the alphabet mafia.
What was it that Mary calls them?
Just because of its hair.
Democorns or something? Democorns. Yeah, democorns.
What's scary is the gay mafia is a real thing.
It is. It always has been.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
In Hollywood.
In a world where bronies can exist.
In a world where bronies exist.
It's real, folks. It's not a joke.
That's really good.
What I've always wanted to see
Tito doesn't like the handbag that Jay has, so now it's on. The gay mafia versus the LGBTQ mafia. Rated R.
You know what? You gotta keep in mind that with all this bullshit going on, there's a lot of center left gay dudes who are like, peace, I'm out. I'm gonna go the other side.
Right.
Rated F for fabulous.
So I got a funny story. A friend of mine, he was writing an application. And I don't remember why he did this, but in Linux, anything like that shell base is you have what is called shebang or hash bang or whatever, shebang for short. Mm-hmm. But he had this thing where it was a script, and you'd execute it. It was like bang ass pound colon, and he would write plugins for it. They were called butt plugs. Of course, you could get away with the shit back in the 90s. You know,
oh, dude, my friends and I got away with some like the worst jokes like that on the internet for a long time before everyone from Tumblr went to Twitter. That's what fucking happened, and then it became incredibly toxic. It's the shameless plug.
The 90s and early 2000s were a golden age for just people not giving a fuck.
Yeah,
it was the best, man.
Oh,
yeah.
God, man, the old Yahoo voice chat room, legendary. Jesus, man. Back around 2000 or so.
Yeah, but that just means you got made fun of like by people my age pretending to be adults. We were just really mean little shits.
Yeah.
Did we lose Tom? What happened here?
I accidentally hit the wrong button.
Did you fat finger the button, Tom?
It's on the
Damn it,
bottom
Tom.
now, and nobody puts baby in the corner.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, let's get back to this article. Because I literally do not have all night. I have to get up bitch ass early.
Sorry.
It sucks. It's all right. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no rhyme or reason to the debate that that is inherently skewed in its intentions, especially when the narrative is being pushed by those with all the power, money, and platform.
What?
Yeah. You realize the cancel culture is coming from
that
the people with all the power, right? I mean,
And money, and
Twitter,
the
Facebook, Google.
JWs point the finger at others and call them what they themselves are all the time. It's double talk. No matter what conversation you have with these people, it is always that.
I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's all just an excuse for ludicrous exaggerations in place of nuanced understanding of a real issue that's been twisted into yet another battering ram to silence the already marginalized.
Well, I hate the fact that fucking Syfy Wire. I mean, they're like every other damn thing out there, like Vox and Vice and all these stupid ass places.
You remember when Syfy used to play science fiction shows and movies, folks? Because I don't remember the last time they fucking did that. I really don't.
I remember when Syfy Wire had actual, articles about science fiction on there instead of this garbage, and then they started doing the same things and hiring woke activists to be the staff writers instead of actual staff writers.
But Drew, you don't see the oxymoron in the science fiction paper publishing this?
Oh God!
This is great. Toxic Man Food for $5. I recreated the panel in phallic food. It's pretty accurate.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Oh wow!
Oh my God. Thank you, Toxic Man Food.
Tox is great.
Oh God! Yeah, I made the mistake or the genius move, whichever one you want to interpret it as making him a moderator on my channel.
It went well.
And he actually, right before we came over here, comics, he actually did a hell of a job tonight. So shout out to him.
I honestly, I mean, Tox has been around for a while at this point. I should make him a moderator. There we go. You get the rinse, sir.
Yeah, he's good.
Unlimited power.
Yep, that means he'll be censoring my comments.
He might time you out.
Strike them down, and they shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
So here's the issue I have with this argument that she's saying. Who is marginalized is being canceled? Okay, I mean, first off, all the platforms have the power. Google, Facebook, Twitter mobs, stuff like that. Those are the people that have the power right now. Is these fucking crazies on the left that will go around, find out who you are, call your boss, tell them you're a Nazi, and say all these things to get your ass fired.
That's right.
What the actual fuck? Okay. And again, she's ignoring the regular people who are being canceled and specifically are just targeting celebrities and more specifically J.K. Rowling.
Yeah,
I mean, they can target anybody that they want. Ruin the man baby.
Well,
for
yeah,
instance.
but okay, let's play her game for all of it. Sorry, finish your point and then I'll say my thing.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, Dalton.
So, if we actually play her game for 5/8 of a second, and I know it's going to be painful, but the examples she gave of people in power, quote unquote, that have been canceled because they fell afoul of the moral ideology that runs the world at the moment. Mm-hmm. And this is very similar to back in the days when there was an actual aristocracy. You could lose your station if you didn't play by the aristocratic rules. If you married below your class, if you expressed yourself in a forbidden way. Hell, most of the founders were land-owning, aristocracy adjacent people who basically told the king to go fuck himself and were completely disowned. This is just a modern manifestation of that. J.K. Rowling was a bastion of goodness and purity and morality right up until she said the one and only thing that was enough to get her canceled. And stepping outside of her game for a second, because that was painful for me to step inside her game, the only quote unquote marginalized identities that get the axe, my darling, are people in those demographics that don't buy into the hive mind mentality. Because using myself as an example, I am gay, disabled, and a practicing occultist, but I also happen to be a men's rights advocate. How often do you suppose that I and my Bernie supporting ways get called conservative because I believe we shouldn't circumcise male children with no anesthetic when they're fucking 3 days old? How often
I also want to throw out that Bernie's a
the
sellout
stink
now.
eye because I point out how the wage gap is lying with statistics and so on and so on.
Oh yeah, completely. Real quick, we will get to Wes Moody's super chat and then back to the article. Can I be a mod? I blocked my first troll 2 days ago. Yeah, sure, Wes. I mean, you're here enough. Mods for everybody.
I do wonder though if one of the reasons why they're mad about brawling is because there's so much shit-tastic fan art depicting people as swapped in some way, and not like a haha, it's funny, but they're serious. So if he comes out against that, people are gonna be fucking mad. Well,
the other thing too, she is also a progressive nut job. She is the one who's like changed Hermione's race, after the fact, and also made Dumbledore gay afterwards too.
Well, I just find it. Well, I don't know. The fact that she's British, she's never going to be much similar to an American.
All she's really saying is like science doesn't give a shit about your feelings. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying
that's true though. Science doesn't give a shit about your feelings.
Yes, I know. I understand that. I'm just saying that these people are probably also mad about other things that regarding her. So.
Anyway, I mean, it's unfortunately we live in a world now where science is political.
Same reason they get so mad at.
For a long time.
Well, my argument or my statement would be that the people that are truly marginalized currently are those that aren't in some place of power, and there's such a limited amount of power to go around right now, and it seems to be that it's only being flexed in the media circles at the moment. So that's what we're suffering under currently, in my thought.
This article just makes me want to like go on Twitter and make a tweet that says "Breaking news: there are only two genders."
Oh man, it's so true. Toxic Man Flu $2. Wes blocking me doesn't count. All right.
I recently wrote a book about this. It's called "There's Only Two Genders, and Neither One of Them Are Going to Sleep with You."
Wow.
Okay. There's no rhyme or reason to a debate that is inherently skewed. Did I already read that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did. Okay.
Can you do it in a funny accent?
But I love it in that voice.
Like a soy voice? Can you do it? Oh, you were? I'm sorry.
That is a soy voice.
It just must have been the oozing from the article. I didn't know he was doing a voice.
I could do SJW voice. Everyone wants SJW
I was just
voice.
being an ass.
Okay.
You're already doing a great job.
All right.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
SJW voice hurts. Okay. It does.
NPR voice. NPR, classic NPR.
Oh boy.
Comics can't help but read something like this without like putting a little bit of sass in it. Like, he just can't help it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to
what that means is that
tonight we'll be talking about
let the
cancel
snark
culture.
flow through you, comics. Let the snark
All right.
flow through you.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, just sass it up.
Go, girl.
What that means is that we keep hearing the same argument over and over again, all which utilizes the same vocabulary. You couldn't make a Mel Brooks movie or release Lolita today because of virtue signaling, which is overlooked the fact that Lolita barely got published in its time and was banned by many local authorities.
Okay, now first off, the reason why they can't make Mel Brooks movies is because of people Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me explain to you why Lolita was originally not published in various because it used to be that the people who held the moral reins of civilization were the right-wing nut jobs.
I missed the
But
day.
when the 90s happened.
I was about to bring that up. A lot of this had to do with the right, not the left.
They won the argument in the 90s, but because they cannot conceive of themselves as anything other than the rebels of civilization, they can't acknowledge the fact that they won the argument and thereby use the power that they gained in the 90s responsibly. They still think we're in a 90s inspirational movie like Dead Poet Society or Patch Adams or Freedom Writers or some shit, and they're standing up to some big conspiracy of the tradcon conservatives and the asshole doctor from Patch Adams. They still think that. But newsflash, guys, you won the argument. Now you're no longer the rebels. Act like it, which means using the powers you have responsibly and not being a bunch of moralizing twits.
Yeah. Oh, this is my favorite part right here. Because it's so fucking true. Those oversensitive SJWs aren't prepared for the real world.
Right?
Yeah, lady, this is the first thing you wrote that I completely agree with.
Made my nipples hard.
They can cut glass, can't they?
Yeah. Diamonds.
Well, we jumped up. Well, go ahead.
Anyway, okay.
This is poor writing.
What's that?
This is poor writing because she's clearly trying to quote J.K. Rowling. Yes. So instead of using comma quote capital and stating of something that she was saying, she just wrote it into the article like, it was in her own voice. So yeah, this
writer is a hack. In 5 minutes, I could write a more coherent article than this woman.
With actual arguments too.
Yeah, if you ask me, says the billionaire, it's all a witch hunt. Evoking the image of a witch hunt is a common tool in political and cultural discourse. Because sometimes it's fucking true.
Yeah.
Especially when we live in the age where you're constantly trying to root out the impure. That is a fucking witch hunt, man.
Well, yeah, that's actually what's happening to the other side. This is the thing that infuriates me. Every single one of these arguments that happens in any of these articles nowadays is essentially calling the other side what you're actually performing, and this is a common
projection. In the
1930s,
accuse the other side of what you're actually doing,
and this is the 1930s. Yeah, this is the 1930s all over again. We're looking at the 30s Germany. We're looking at the beginning of all of this mess. That's kind of crap.
Yeah, all over. That's the thing that's so scary is that people say, Trump is the alt-right Yahtzee. It's like, no, he's not. It's going to be the guy that comes after him that most likely will be.
Yeah. You know what culture I give up? I'm just gonna go and date my hooker.
Oh, no. Hey, you do that, bro. And make sure she has a kid. All right.
And you make the hooker happy. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's the one that's been misused and appropriated way more than cancel culture. I don't know. I would disagree at this point. Cancel culture has been going strong for a number of years now. How long did McCarthyism last?
I don't think
decade. Yeah,
did it last decade? Okay.
Yeah.
50s
to the 70s.
I was going to say, wasn't it like the end of World War II till? Yeah. Well, so
McCarthyism, I want to say, was in the 50s.
Yeah, it was like the end of World War II till like the 60s, like JFK era.
This isn't like brand new in the last 4 years, though. Any single time in the last 15 years, someone comes out against the Hollywood narrative, and they slowly got less work. Unless they already were the person in charge, like Alan Covert.
Yeah.
It's like not like we're starting out. This is just getting to the peak.
Yeah.
Okay. It started. Sorry. It officially ended in 1954.
Yes. Yeah, that's where I was trying to get. Yeah. 50 to 54, and there was a form of political witch hunt at that point in time. There absolutely was. There was but that's the period of time when we developed the blacklist. It was a certain type of censorship. It was the identification of the subversives, the communists, the socialists that were amongst us. That's was reflected in that period of time. So anyway, sorry. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's fine. And Pearhead, to a degree, I agree that McCarthy was right, but he was wrong in the way he went about doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you start accusing like John Wayne of being a communist, you're fucking off the rails, man.
Yeah. Now he's a racist.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Now he's a racist.
The main issue with McCarthyism is you have every right to privately in the privacy of your own home and your own mind to be a communist. The issue is when you start forcing communism down everyone's throat, which is the funny thing we are now. Now it's considered haram, basically, not to be a communist, and that's coming from a Bernie bro, by the way.
Yeah, and the other thing too, the biggest thing, the issue with what McCarthy did, he wasn't wrong about what he was stating. It was the fact that he was going after people, much like what's been going on with cancel culture. So, I mean, in itself, McCarthyism was a form of cancel culture, for its day. But it wasn't because you made a stupid joke on Twitter. It's because you were a communist sympathizer.
You said something in an interview, which ultimately is like the same thing, just faster now.
Yeah, it's all crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Every senator or president who faced a modicum of criticism loves to invoke the idea that they are under siege in the exact same way that the women of Salem were 100 years ago. Women and men. I mean, it was primarily. Here's the thing that pisses me off about
only women.
Well, hang on. Let me finish my point. It wasn't just women; it was also men. And the real issue here is that they're going to blame the patriarchy. I just got to throw that out right now. I've read the article. They're going to blame the patriarchy. But what she leaves out is the fact that you had women, neighbor on neighbor, blaming one another and making accusations. It's like, yes, you had the guy in charge who was trying the witches, but it was the people who were basically calling out other people, saying that they're witches to get them canceled or murdered in this case. Yeah.
Well, and lest we forget, the people who were most responsible for the accusations were a group of teenage girls who had no social power and were using the excuse were using the witch trials as a means to gain said power. It was teenage girls, and the men of Salem were basically just trying to take care of their women folk, as highly traditionalistic civilizations are known to want to do.
And Rowan, you were wanting to say something.
It was mostly a land grab.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yes.
So it was one neighbor blaming the other neighbor so they could get the neighbor's land.
Yeah, it was a great way of getting rid of people you didn't like.
Yep.
Like literally getting rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
We seem to have forgotten that witch hunts were a very real thing, and no fucking shit, lady. It remained a black mark on our history. So,
depending on how you view history, it's a black mark.
Yeah,
really, your perspective. I mean, if you care about,
you are not about to explain to me, you stupid bitch.
Here's my favorite thing. It's like Salem women murdered, modern day feminists most affected. Anyway, so thoroughly have we stripped the past of its context. Oh, really? For petty uses and gotcha point scoring.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. I am pulling it down. That is exactly what she is going to be doing through most of this article, and I'm going to itemize every single historical error she does, because
lack
this is one of my specialty areas, and I.
Oh man, this is great.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap! I didn't know Comics Division knew so many YouTubers. Yeah, I know more YouTubers than I have actual friends in real life.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Not really, but
no, it's the truth for me.
Actually, okay. In retrospective, I mean, I have a small group of friends that I hang out with. Well, hung out with regularly. So yeah, I actually know more YouTubers now than people actually hang out with. Okay. The dictionary definition of a witch hunt is an intensive effort to discover and expose disloyalty, subversion, dishonesty, or the like, usually based on a slight, doubtful, or irrelevant evidence. Much like cancel culture. Wow. It's as if they are practically the same fucking thing.
Exactly what every Twitter mob ever does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God. These people. God damn it. Stop with the freaking thing. Stupid menu. There we go.
Train wreck.
God damn this website. I hate that shit.
But wait. This just talks completely. This entire article screams lack of self-awareness. In fact,
you think?
Well, no, but I mean, that's obvious to us, right? But to the rest of the world, they don't see that this, and these people don't even see that they lack self-awareness. They're going to look at this article and say, "Oh, this is bloody brilliant," but it's freaking, it's the same.
What the lack of self-awareness is. You can't see it.
No, I know.
I don't think that that's entirely true. I think that there are those out there that understand that they're putting out a contradictory statement, and they're using that to manipulate public perception to think in a way that makes them more easily controllable.
Yes, they do. With entertainment in particular, because they have to walk the line.
Yeah.
Yep. Because when you're reading entertainments, when you're looking at entertainments, your mind is relaxed. You are, not guarded. You're literally going to escape. And if you use escapism as propaganda, then it gets past many of the social filters that we have when we engage with anything else in our lives other than relaxation.
And that's why it's such a pleasure, doing what we were just doing before we came over here.
That's why they want to control culture. They can control culture. They can control people's minds and worldviews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but as you were saying, Steven, that was why it's so great. We were doing what we were doing before we came over here to Comics this stream, because that's an example of something you can get lost in that encourages free thought and debate, and it's good escapist storytelling.
You're triggering me right now.
And man, dude.
Anyway,
God, I long for those days to come back.
Essentially, it's an unfounded attack against a perceived enemy, usually done in an attention-grabbing manner with the intention of silencing dissenters under the cloak of uncovering dangerous or subversive activity.
Are we sure this is an SJW, or is this someone explaining social justice warriors?
Oh, they're very much an activist.
Yeah, okay. I'm definitely going with it's like I said, it's
astounding.
You beat me to it, dude. Yeah, it's all about that lack of self-awareness. I'm surprised you didn't talk about SJWs, but okay, whatever.
The term as we know it today has been in use for several decades, most well known in its usage of the events such as U.S. Senator Joseph McCarthy's House Un-American Activities Committee hearings, a supposed investigation into communist infiltration of American society that wildly slammed for destroying innocent people's lives.
Yes, and that is true.
Yeah, and it also led to the Cold War.
Yes, it did.
The McCarthy trials became inevitably connected to witch hunts in a large part that makes Arthur Miller's play The Crucible, which used Salem witch trials as an allegory for McCarthyism and its baseless persecutions.
Well, they were burning people in the House of Congress. What's going on?
Yeah, I know, right?
I thought The Crucible was actually about the Salem witch trials, not about McCarthyism.
Yeah, there wasn't. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to assert an allegory because the play was in 1953.
Sorry, Dalton. What are you gonna say? Dalton.
Just minor pedantry here. Any witches that were tried in either the British Isles or the colonies would be hung, not burnt, because in Europe, witchcraft was tried as a heresy because that was a thing back then. But in the British Isles and in the colonies, it was actually tried as a felony, not as a heresy. Therefore, they hung them rather than burned them.
Yeah, that's true. I had completely forgotten about the fact that it was handled completely differently. But yes, they were not. It was not considered to be a heresy here,
obviously. Well, I mean,
for obvious reasons too.
It was. Let's be real. We're talking about Puritans. It was, but they were doing it in a different way.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna drop the SJW voice for a bit. Okay. Witch hunts are.
Can we talk about things that are really interesting, like flying squirrels? Sure.
Fenton! Fenton! Okay, witch hunts were an international concern, but we talk about or invoke them, because reasons. Okay, we typically refer the ones in early modern Europe or colonial era America. Belief in witchcraft is worldwide and millennial phenomenon, although much of what we associate with it today is still rooted and is bastardized of Puritanism and connection to the Christian devil.
Boogie.
There were trials in the 15th and early 16th century of early modern Europe, but tend to die out wildly until the 1600s, particularly under the rule of deeply pious and superstitious monarchs across the continent. King Christian IV of Denmark was a big fan of witch hunts and burnings, and would heavily influence James VI of Scotland and one of England. Oh, okay, James I. Okay,
yes,
that wasn't obvious. No. Anyway, becoming so obsessed with witches that he wrote his own manual on hunting them, called the demonology, or whatever you want, however you pronounce it. Between 1644 and 1647, hundreds of people were convicted and sentenced as witches, thanks to the work of Matthew Hopkins, a self-styled witch finder general. Over the brief course of 14 months, Hopkins and his team sent to the gallows more accused people than all of the other witches in England of the previous 160 years. Thank you for
Why are you...
Go ahead.
Okay, why are you singling out... why are you singling out the British Isles? Because the British Isles actually were fairly late to the party on the whole witch persecution thing.
That's right.
Because King James did go insane. That's accurate. But witch trials and killing people on the basis of witchcraft had been a thing since the earliest part of the Middle Ages. Because when the Romans converted to Christianity, they basically butchered all the other pagans and or like wise women and various things of villages. So that's where witchcraft trials originally came from. And more so, why are you focusing specifically on Matthew Hopkins, considering it's fairly reasonably certain that he did not believe the shit that he was spouting, whereas most of the accusers in the era did. So why focus specifically on Britain, and moreover, why focus specifically on Matthew Hopkins? You're narrowing down like 500 years worth of history to three years or so here.
It's a useless history on witch trials and witch hunts. That's the reason why.
That's all. They don't want to be deeper than that.
This is a person that has a pentacle and doesn't even know the phases of the moon. So
wow.
Pissed off.
Well, it's interesting that they call out the specific period of time and the British Isles specifically here, in as much as the Church of England started in the early 1500s, which was, while somewhat, well, the Christian church of the day, they didn't identify that as the specific, cause for these types of actions. So this is the problem with people who purport to be journalists nowadays. They don't do research. They are not well informed. They do not write complete pieces.
They don't have hair like culture.
I'm betting you. I'm betting you focused mostly on Matthew Hopkins and the British Isles because that was what came up when you searched Wikipedia for 5 seconds.
Probably. I'm pretty sure this woman is not an expert on the witch trials. You're right. She went to fucking Wikipedia, like most of us do. I'll be honest.
Don't always trust it there.
Don't always trust it though. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Quite frankly, I'm gonna skip most of this crap because it's pointless. Okay. Because she talks about the basically the hammer of the witch, which is hammer of the witches.
What is the point being made? Comics. I mean, why is this deep comparison?
Here we go. Once we get past this, this paragraph is really where we get to the meat of what's going on. So,
all right, give me the meat.
Okay, so specifically here, and it's all about the marginalized people. Think single women, widows, and those with educations, especially with midwives, other damning traits, including displays of ambition. This is referring to women. A refusal to dress in a modest fashion and feminine manner, and even swearing. A refusal to adhere to the stiffening confines placed on women by highly religious patriarchal society was not only that's it right there.
I mean, it was patriarchal.
To be condemned, it was
misogyny.
Yeah,
no, I know, but it is though. That's real. That was real.
But, going back to what we're talking about specifically with Salem. Okay, you had young women who were making the accusations. It was mostly women who were making the accusations. And yes, it was being enforced by a patriarchal figure. But it wasn't like he just strolled in the town one day and said, witch. It was the people within this town that were making the accusations. And again, like I said, they were mostly women.
And you look at the history of women at that time in the previous centuries, their strength was manipulation, was moving the pieces in society and that's how they ascended. So of course it would be women who would make those accusations.
Well, because that was the role of the woman was to be a homesteader and control basically the social aspect of civilization. There's a reason why the male role was essentially servitude to. Like in the Bible, it specifically says a man leaves his home and cleaves to his wife, meaning that as much as the man might be in charge, his task, his job is to take care of the woman. And the reason I bring this up is, and I'm not going to make any friends here, but I don't think at bottom you could say that it was specifically misogyny that was the issue. And I'll tell you why.
No, it wasn't, because a lot of it was the fact that men controlled the government, but women controlled the households. That's how it's been always, throughout majority of history. So to say that women didn't have any kind of institutionalized power because of that is a ridiculous statement.
Well, and it's also reflected in the understanding, quote unquote, of what they called witchcraft back then, because in the Malleus Maleficarum, in the Hammer of Witches that they just referenced for several paragraphs, and I don't know if they mentioned this or not, but the reason why women were thought to be witches more often was two reasons. Number one, they were more pure than men, therefore their corruption was more valued by the devil, according to the lore. And number two, they had a stronger reproductive drive, because in the Malleus Maleficarum it says, and I quote, all witchcraft comes from carnal lust, which is in women insatiable, which basically means witchcraft was viewed as a means to corrupt your sex drive and use it for things that it was not intended for, namely making the babies.
Yeah.
I don't think I get an opinion because I would be a witch.
So
go ahead, Rowan. Share your opinion.
Yeah,
she turned me into a nuke.
Women were considered pure and powerful, and they didn't want people. And they didn't want women misusing that power, was the logic. It had nothing to do with let's hate and oppress the women. It had to do with women are powerful and reproductive, therefore they need to be responsible with it. It's nothing to do with misogyny.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, that's still misogynist to say, well, you need to keep it in your pants, but I don't have to. That's still, I mean, That's yeah.
Well, no,
yeah, and you're not saying that there weren't double standards because there are.
Men were branded when they ran afoul of it.
Well, especially with the Puritans, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like let's not act like men got a free ride for all those centuries.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, no, of course not.
Yeah, it's like, let's not forget the famous words of the I can't remember the guy's name, but the one that was being they put a piece of wood on your chest and pile rocks on it, and they're trying to get him to confess, and his response his response was add more weight. Yeah, it's like that shit's fucked up. This is something that modern day blowhards insist they are being attacked as part of a witch hunt. Doesn't seem to understand real witch hunts were tools of the powerful to attack the oppressed.
And it's not me because I'm a victim. Sorry.
No, actually, it was a way to position your family for a better future. Though that the purpose of the witch hunts were to identify families that you wanted to have your daughters or other people marry into, and vice versa. It was these were tools of people who were manipulative in ways that we cannot possibly imagine currently because we weren't there.
So Renee is asking for someone to wake up Tom. Tom, you awake?
Yeah.
Tom's playing Ninja Turtles, y'all. You know the truth. He's got that Ninja Turtles right behind.
No, I'm just letting everybody act on it. All I got to add to this shit is like, random shit like turkey sandwich.
But we need that turkey sandwich, Tom.
And on the
Go ahead.
On the topic though of the logic of the oppressed, funny thing about witch trials, when a woman was brought to court on charges of witchcraft, usually they were trying to prosecute her for witchcraft in order to save her soul and to purify her. Whereas when a man was tried for witchcraft, what did they call him? They called him warlock, which in the language of the Anglo-Saxons literally means traitor. You want to know why? Because when women were tricked into congregating with the devil by Christian logic, they were still blameless and pure and victimized by the devil tricking them. But when a man compacted with the devil, he did it with his own agency. Therefore, he was entirely responsible. So we should hate him more. So don't give me this, the poor oppressed women, because that's exactly what the Puritans thought. They thought that the women were poor and oppressed and had been tricked by the devil, but men who compacted with the devil were entirely responsible for this decision and were totally not tricked.
They also didn't let women be preachers and stuff, so it could be part of that like hierarchical thing.
Yeah.
When the devil would call my name, I would say, who do you think you're fooling?
Yeah.
I'm a consecrated man.
What's
and my
up,
mama, she loves
90?
me. She
What's
loves
up?
me.
Damn it, Tom, I'm trying to read super chat. I'm just kidding. What's up, Mechany 90?
I'm called to talk, and then when I'm talking, I told you to shut up.
Is it Mechany 90 or McKinney
90?
McKinney 90. Okay. Oh, I got ruined by Englentine saying Mechany 90. It's the McKinney 90.
It's bikini.
McKinney.
Culture calls him bikini, or was it one of those guys? I don't know. They've changed so many times. I don't understand it either.
McKinney 90 has been around like early days of my channel.
That's badass, man. He's a great artist. I love seeing him.
Dude. I'm in one of the groups that you guys are in, and I know that he was sharing some of his art, and it's like that was fucking amazing shit.
Toxic Man Flu wants to know about when the devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal.
Was it
fire raged in his eyes, and he was looking to make a deal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he come across this boy who was playing a fiddle and playing it hot. He jumped up on a hick. I said, "Boy, I'll tell you what."
The devil went to Jamaica. He was looking to sell some weed. He was standing in line. It was excellent weed indeed. When he came across this young man who was likewise peddling pot, and the boy turned to the boy. Oh God, damn it!
I know. I forget. I know too.
Point of personal privilege.
Sure, buddy.
It's Machiny 90.
Machiny? Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought. I thought it was Machiny 90.
You were 100% correct. Do not let these other boys lead you astray.
Okay. Well, there you go. Okay, they preyed upon superstition, manufactured paranoia, and simple misogyny. Of course, it all comes back down to misogyny to encourage others to scapegoat marginalized individuals for all their problems. Senator McCarthy harnessed the post-World War II Red Scare panic to weed out not only the communists, but anyone with a vague left-wing or pro-union stance. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe it is. And it's been a while since I've studied this. And to this day, workers organized for their own rights is still tarred with that brush of the HUAC hearings.
HUAC.
Okay, whatever. The HUAC, yeah. And I love this because at some point in time, they're going to blame capitalism.
Get out.
Yeah, seriously, dude. Of
course they are.
Yeah, of course. People lost their lives, were ostracized by their families, friends, and communities, and some were even killed. There was a lot of people killed, all because it was easier to blame the powerless. Oh, bullshit. I mean, McCarthy was going after people in power in Hollywood.
Yes,
so those were not marginalized people he was going after.
No.
Yeah.
Writers, directors, people who had influence over the populace. And at the time, while they did target a few people incorrectly, they did target people who were largely trying to propagandize entertainment, which
he was going after people that had influence. Yeah, it wasn't like the marginalized voices.
Yeah, and there were communist organizations in old Hollywood at the time. So much so, and they were so powerful that Walt Disney, of all people, was bullied by a communist union leader by the name of Herbert K. Sorrell. So don't tell me communists had no power during the Red Scare era, given that Walt freaking Disney was bullied by a communist.
Yeah.
And actually, they're the ones that started the Disney was anti-Semitic meme. Most of that is factually untrue.
Yeah.
They blew it so far out of proportion.
All because it was easier to blame the powerless for the ills of the world than tackle the true root cause of our world's corruption. Shocker. It's not comparable to J.K. Rowling getting mad because she didn't like her transphobia being labeled as transphobia.
What in the hell?
It all comes back to J.K. Rowling.
Wait, so she wrote about
sweetheart, the thing you're missing.
So go ahead, buddy.
Yeah,
go ahead.
The thing you're missing, sweetheart, is that the people who were doing this thought that they were doing it for moral reasons, exactly like you are currently doing. People who are this level of authoritarian always do it in the name of good intentions, always do it in the name of morality, always legislate based on their morality. It's getting to the point where I genuinely believe that morality should be considered a personal position and nothing else. I'm getting to the point where it's like morality has no place in public discourse because it's really because everyone tries to morally legislate, whether it's the traditionalists back in the 1950s doing it with the Red Scare and this kind of shit, or whether it's the current crop now that won't somebody please think of the demographics instead of won't somebody please think of the children.
I will agree and disagree with you at the same time.
Then fuck off.
I'm gonna agree with you and disagree with you at the same time. In order for societies to function properly, there needs to be a common morality amongst the populace.
Yeah.
Well, there needs to be ethics, but ethics and morality are two different things. I think the main issue we have is that we're focusing so much on morality and none whatsoever on like the practical ethics side of it. Like, I think we see morality as something that is philosophically discussed. We see it as something that's gifted to us from on high. Whether it's
the other thing too is the morality policing as well.
Clergy doing it. So many people.
Yeah.
Except that in this case, or as you describe it, you have to have morals and ethics applied to have a civil society, or else you would have a straight up an eye for an eye circumstances where we don't actually practice that when someone is killed, either with malice or without. We do not execute the person that was, implicated.
Speak for yourself.
But that's what I mean by censoring. I would like a world where we censored ethical philosophy rather than morality.
Yeah, you're not going to get that
because they're two.
You're not going to get that. Yeah. No, you have to take a balance of both. Unfortunately,
I say from now on we just slather people up in tuna.
Yes.
And let the dogs at them. I mean,
No. What we need to do is remove warning labels, so the stupid will die off.
Here's your sign.
Vote for that. I'm happy.
My entire life now, and the only morality that matters is don't hurt people and don't take their stuff. Done.
We need an IQ card. All right, that's just what it is, guys. Let's all just realize, look, we test everybody 3 times in their lives. When they're young, and we test them on basic skills, intellect, what's good. Okay, assaulting someone, not good. Just basic tests. And if you and depending
we'll
on
call it the Carlin test.
Yes, the Carlin test.
Because you know how he used to say, you talk to somebody for about 5 minutes, you can figure out whether they're stupid, full of shit, or they're just an asshole. Sometimes they're all 3.
Okay, so now we're getting to the best paragraph. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Here's the thing. Cancel culture is real on some level, but not in the way we see it being screeched about online. The same goes for our modern day understanding of witch hunts.
Oh my God.
It's a saying, lady. It's a fucking saying.
It is a saying.
You do not understand them, darling.
Yeah.
You don't understand them at all.
No.
Okay, when, for example, a prominent multi-millionaire author threatens to sue a tiny website for describing her as a having deeply unpleasant views, that's not cancel culture because the power dynamic is obviously twisted in favor of the one with all the clout. Yeah, what the fuck ever. You can't cancel a multimillionaire. Capitalism won't allow it.
Okay, but the thing is,
it's all capitalism's fault.
Moral power has always trumped financial power. You know why? Because as I just described earlier, as an aristocrat, you could be disinherited if you fall afoul of the moral structures of the day. And that's always been the case. We have always respected classical heroes more so than classical villains. Does that mean that, no rich person has ever gotten away with bullshit? No, it doesn't. But when someone makes a public scandal of themselves, it's the moral weight of civilization clapping back on them that ends up basically disinheriting them. Because if you're a rich fucker and you do something horribly, horribly wrong, that wealth is going to disappear but quick when the world finds out about it. And you guys are the ones that currently control the moral paradigm. So you need to be
they also control the cultural institutions too. And that's the thing that she doesn't bring up is the fact that right now the left controls all the cultural institutions.
Yes.
Well,
real quick.
They're the moral institutions now.
Yeah, they are the moral institutions. The Freudian slip, I guess. Oh no. James Fowler, $5 super chat. Wait,
That's right.
Pretty much. Okay, so yes, this is great. Cancel culture. You can't cancel a multimillionaire. Capitalism won't allow it. That is the fucking stupidest thing I've heard this live stream. I would say all day, but I've heard stupider things. Mainly coming from the mouth of what's her name? Fuck, blanking.
Roseanne Barr.
No, Roseanne Barr, but what's her name from who's the boss? Not Samantha.
Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano, thank you. Yeah, oh my God. I can't believe we live in a world where Joe Rogan's podcast is more popular than mine.
Dude, she's an idiot today. Holy
shut the fuck up, lady.
But like, hasn't he been doing that for a long time now?
Yeah, and he's way more interesting and not as boring, and quite frankly, not an idiot.
Right, but he has vastly more cultural clout, if that's what we're all getting up in arms about now.
Yeah.
And because he worked hard for it. And what has she done?
Oh yeah.
Been a dumbass on the internet.
Yeah, pretty much. This is also priceless. Witch hunts too cannot happen in political circumstances where the concepts of shame, of accountability do not exist.
What?
Yeah.
Also wrong.
Sweetheart, your entire paradigm is about shaming and moral prostration. And for the record, decentralized power of the kind that the media has is actually more dangerous than centralized power like a rich person might have. Because, and this is the thing, when the mob rose up against kings and queens, the king got his head cut off. The queen often lived to marry the next guy. That's why it was more advantageous often to be the woman in a position of power than it was a man, because the document said that the man had more power. Therefore, any power that the woman exerted, a la a first lady or a queen, was off the books and therefore couldn't be held accountable for anything. For example, the reason why women couldn't own property for the longest time was because her husband was the one who went to debtor's prison if she defaulted.
Yeah. Okay. Let me read this. Pay close attention, because this next paragraph is amazingly terrible, and you can smell the hypocrisy. Before Brett Kavanaugh was confirmed as a new Supreme Court judge, he faced accusations of sexual assault. The Republican National Committee described it as a witch hunt. Actors like Liam Neeson, Catherine Dubois described the Me Too reckoning Hollywood face regarding systemic harassment and abuse as a witch hunt.
Yeah, no shit.
Donald Trump administration is a big fan of describing itself. Big fan of describing itself. Oh, the administration. Okay, I was like, what? Okay, as victims of a witch hunt, typically, while scapegoating women like Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, and Ocasio-Cortez for for every drop of criticism he ever faced. Okay, so witch hunts against men, okay, but against women, it's not. That's kind of what I'm getting from this paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
and once again, everything old is new again, because that was the exact same rationale they used back then too. Because a man who compacts with the devil is called a traitor, and a woman who compacts with the devil is simply called another word for wise.
And here's the thing, okay? Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, and AOC all are worthy of criticism. Just throwing that out there. It doesn't make them a victim. But yeah, to say Hillary Clinton is being scapegoated, go fuck yourself.
No, she should be in federal prison right now, but let's not even dive into that.
Yes. Crazy Eyes Cortez.
Agreed.
Anyway.
Great wreck.
She'd also be in prison for seditious conspiracy. But anyway, that's... Yeah,
well, yeah. I don't know. She apparently has done some stupid things that could be considered illegal, but I doubt she'll ever be prosecuted. I mean, that's kind of the problem with politicians, right? Very rarely do you see one go to prison when they do something wrong.
They're all fucking crooked and guilty. The only one that wasn't crooked walked his ass out of fucking Washington, and nobody said a goddamn word about it.
Yep. We've seen this pattern before, but what strikes me as peculiar is that I'm not sure a lot of these people understand that it wasn't the witches doing the hunting.
I would love to see some witches doing some hunting, though.
Oh, okay, because you have this hilariously awful political cartoon from 2017, which actually is pretty fucking funny. I'm sorry, I thought that was funny. From 2017 only proved that. Perhaps that's why the term has made such a comeback during the plague of faux concern for cancel culture. Bull fucking shit. This is my issue, is that she keeps equating all the stuff that's happening to people as the rich and powerful. But what about the people What about the Jay Lees of the world that Tom King waddles along one day and goes, you know what? You're creating some art for people I don't like. Burn the heretic. And fortunately, that shit blew up in Tom King's face. I mean, this is not, the rich, powerful elite that she's referring to. It's average, everyday people that get canceled because they step out of line.
Rich and powerful people that lost everything as a result of it.
Yeah, and there are rich and powerful people as well.
Because, when was the last time you heard about? Yeah, when was the last time you heard about Alex Jones or Milo Yiannopoulos? Oh, that's right, they lost everything because they ran
Alex Jones. Alex Jones, I think, is doing quite well.
Time.
Yeah, he's still a contributor, isn't he? He may be low key, but he probably still has a couple jobs.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's still doing InfoWars. You had the whole "I'll eat my neighbor's ass" thing that came out recently, which was fucking hilarious. But Milo's still around. He's obviously not as prominent as he used to be.
Milo isn't very good.
I think he's kind of funny. He's not like my favorite person on the planet, but the dude says some funny shit.
But he's not nearly as for liberty as he likes to pretend.
Yeah, potentially.
No, but
I mean, he's like an entry level kind of whatever the fuck he wants to be.
He's a provocateur. That's all Milo ever was.
I get that. I saw right through that guy right away. And no one believed me.
I think the whole thing is that he was a jackass.
I'm with you. I've never been a big Milo fan, but
I'm not a big fan either. But I just there's times where he says some funny shit.
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, even dumbasses say some funny shit. So.
Yeah. His whole stick is that he was a provocateur and he was a Trump supporter.
Damn.
That's all you need to know about the guy.
Rowan, you really like him, huh?
No, actually, I've never liked him at all. I knew who he was before it was cool. Yeah, not a fan.
Okay, all right.
I would say I'm kind of more in the indifferent department.
That's
indifferent. Fine. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
Excuse me. Well, didn't he basically get his 15 minutes of fame from basically being canceled from some appearance at some college or whatever? Anyway.
He had more than the 15 minutes of fame.
Well, I was gonna say that was like his peak at that point.
Comparatively.
Yeah, that was his peak, and then he made some comments in an interview, and everyone was like, "Dude, what the fuck did you just say?"
Right. Right.
Oops.
And that's when it's like he was like. He said the thing, his popularity just dropped. I wouldn't say he was canceled. I don't think Milo was canceled.
No, I mean, it's probably some self-cancellation or just, following the money, and good for him for making money. It's just, to put in perspective, he came up through the same pipelines as Ben Shapiro. And the reason why Ben does well is because he picks his battles and he isn't a dick to people he disagrees with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
I didn't like Ben when he was a young gun out of college either, so he had to grow on me.
Yeah, I don't like Ben Shapiro. He rubs me the wrong way.
He makes some valid points on occasion. His video on Robin DiAngelo was really good.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I do find it funny that he brings his own food to places because it's only kosher. And I'm not joking. If he goes out, if he's at a
he's hardcore, man.
Yeah. No, he's
a real Jew.
No. I'm just saying because he's an Orthodox Jew. So whenever he's at conventions and goes to things with friends and fans, whatever, he has his own food with him, and that's funny to me.
That's so Orthodox, though.
I know, but I know it's completely normal. It's just funny that he's like, yeah, it's okay.
I think that's pretty much the article. Yay, we got through it.
Wow.
High five or something.
Well, the takeaway from all of that is, of course, projection. And what I've always maintained is that these types point the finger at someone else and call them what they themselves are. Mm-hmm. I also think it has to do with a split in the party that to the hostile takeover of the party that started somewhere in the mid-2000s once certain people understood the power of social media and internet. And that's why I believe it's so divisive, because you also have shaming within the Democratic Party if you're not towing the line of radicalism. So it's very difficult, and it's so polarized because everybody's orange man bad. So even those arguments can't get resolved. And while there's a stalemate, it's really growing in public popularity, the idea of this radical far left. And that's why we're at this point that we're at right now with all the protests, because the facilitation of that part of that problem has been entertainments and the projection of giving validity to people who are hateful or have some kind of self-doubt and fear within themselves, need someone else to blame. And entertainments for the last several years, and as well as personalities that are accepted on social medias, that are controlled in Silicon Valley by people who think the same way. It's a form of fandom and social conditioning. At least in entertainment, it's a fandom conditioning that has led to, as I said, the validation of these types of thoughts in our escapism and our entertainment when we are at our most relaxed state. And I think that it's something that should be fought. That's why I'm writing my books. So it's, as much as we like to go left, right, I think this is more of a fracturing of the left and, like I said, a hostile takeover of that party.
Yeah, that's true, because the progressives hate the Democrats, but they're kind of the vehicle.
Well, traditional Democrats like myself, I mean, I'm a 90s liberal, and I can't stand these people.
But see, I bet you what ends up happening now, and I don't get me wrong, I'm not a Trump person, never have been, never will be. It's just not going to happen. But the fact is, he totally took over the center in 2016, and now he's getting the middle left people.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. It's not like he has to try very hard. I mean, I am not a Trump supporter, but I'm probably going to vote for the guy. I mean, who am I going to vote for? Biden? You fucking kidding me?
You don't want to get sniffed?
Yeah, never.
It's like, yeah, I mean, that, like I said, Biden is going to be the vehicle to get somebody from the far left into the presidency. And apparently it's going to be Kamala Harris because
yeah, probably.
They let it slip. It's slipped.
About that bitch. Yeah, sure, I saw that. They might just be trying to rope a dope, though. You never. I mean, oh god, because one of my friends was totally convinced it was going to be the Michigan governor, and then she just shot through the news, and not for good reasons or likable reasons.
No,
people were like, well, I consider myself liberal, kind of people, like too crazy for them. So I don't know if Kamal is enough, especially because she's a hoe. And she literally got her job because she's a fucking hoe.
Well, she also
she's an authoritarian bitch, is what she
is.
Yes, tough on crime, prosecuting son of a.
Yeah.
I was watching Tim Pool today. He was talking about the whole thing with Kamala Harris, and apparently that she didn't want to let these prisoners out because that would greatly reduce the workforce in prisons. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
The idea of legalizing marijuana, for fuck's sake, in like the early 2000s, she laughed at the idea in California, no less, of legalizing marijuana. Which is something that libertarians on the left and the right should be able to get behind, frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love this. This is from Mackany90 for $5. Apparently, my skin color is negated if I don't vote for Biden.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. If you don't vote for Biden, you're not black. That's such a racist thing to say.
Well, I know, and he got away with it.
Well, even Charlemagne, the guy that was interviewing him when he said that, is like, he's not voting for him. He came out and said he's not going to vote for him. It's fucking hilarious.
Not black. He just canceled himself. He just canceled his melanin.
Why would you after something like that?
Makani, my skin color has been negating me for like a decade now, dude. So it's fine. Welcome.
It's tough being pink.
Oh man, you know how to flatter a guy, Justin. $5. I'll use a few dollars for your waistband, you cheap pole dancer. Okay. A little story behind that. When last time he super chatted me, I was like, "What? No insult?" you get what you asked for, folks. You get what you asked for. So anyway, I'm tired, guys. I have to get up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna start yawning a lot. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here. Let's go and make the rounds. We will start with author Stephen Walton of the Phantom Menace. How are you, sir?
I'm Doing well, sir. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Share out the link. Hit the like on your way out. You can find me on my channel, Author Stephen Walton. I think the next show I'm doing is tomorrow night, 6:15 Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be the Troublemaker stream. I got Nina Infinity and Jane Theory and Nerd Cookies and Lorena Creole and according to Christy. Oh, and McEnany's going to be there because I need some kind of I need male reinforcement there. So please come by and check us out. Please sub to all the people on this panel. Thank you. Hail. Have a great night.
Up next we have Culture Casino.
Hey guys, I have a small YouTube channel, but I'm actually just happy to be here hanging out with comics and with author Stephen Walton and with Tom and some new friends here. And I and Drew, of course, he's bloody brilliant. So everybody on this panel deserves your subscription if you're not already subscribed. And absolutely hit the like on your way out. And if you enjoy me insulting people, you should follow me on Twitter. And if you want to see me talk about an industry in a different way than you normally see on YouTube, then my channel's for you. And other than that, thanks for having me on, Comics. I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime, dude. Real quick, Drew, are you still awake?
He's muted.
Beware the Drew. I know what he's doing.
Beware the Drew.
Yeah.
Real quick, let me get $1 from Justin Proper. He says nothing, just like last time.
He put $1 in your waistband.
You did.
That's right.
Woohoo! Stripper pole. Dalton, how can people find you on the inner tubes? That is the internet.
Alrighty. Hi, folks. I am Dalton Mortimer. I am the Authenticator. My channel is called the Authenticator. I talk about a lot of weird shit, to be honest. If you're interested in magic and occultism, I got you covered there. If you're interested in philosophy, I got you covered there. If you're interested in politics, got you covered there. And if you're interested in how pop culture and geekdom intersects with all of the above, I've got you covered there. You can find me, other than on my channel, you can find me on Twitter at The Authenticator, spelled without a U because Twitter is stupid and doesn't have enough characters in its usernames. You can find me just about everywhere else at The Authenticator, spelled normally. And you can also find me every Sunday on the podcast The Storm with my buddy, the Brainstormer of Pop Culture. We'll probably be covering this article there as well because I want to go more in depth with it. Because if you haven't noticed, there's a running theme with me that I'm really big into magic and occultism. So this is kind of my bag. And my fucking God, do people not understand shit?
Up next, we have Rowan. God, I just totally fucked up your intro or outro. Rowan Ginger Raven.
Hello. Hi. I'm Rowan Ginger Raven everywhere. If I'm not there, then I probably just don't care. I guess you could also check out my business that I have. It's small and internet based. So darkentriesdesign.com.
And you should put more content on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I do have that too. I'm trying. I don't know. I just got a book that I think might blow more people's minds if they, are interested in the origins of this shit show we're living now.
What book is that? Is it White Fragility?
No, gross. No, it's 16 years old, which makes it even more creepy. Hollywood Interrupted, Insanity Chic in Babylon, The Case Against Celebrity by the late Andrew Breitbart and Mark Ebner.
Oh.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's terrifying, and I'm like going from like seething mad to emotionally unstable because I miss him very much.
Right on. All right, and we have the very sleepy me, and apparently Drew Taylor, who is muted.
Drew's getting down. Beware the Drew, guys.
Beware the
Drew.
And last but not least, we have Tom. Tom from Midnight's Edge.
Hi.
Hi, Tom.
How y'all doing?
We're doing fine. How can people find you on the internets?
You can type stuff in on the keyboard.
Oh, Lord.
And you can find me someplace. I'm usually on streams anyway, so you don't really need to find me. I'll find you.
Right.
Hunt you down when you're fucking sleeping and haunt your nightmares.
I'm coming to get you.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Tom, why do you not have an outro? You never have an outro. You're like Script Doctor. He doesn't even have an outro. Script Doctor goes the extra mile. He goes,
if I did, it would just be like a bunch of gibberish anyway.
Really? Why don't you do Bat Tom? Do a Bat Tom outro. Everyone can expect Bat Tom.
No, you got to do your Boneheads tune thing, like something like that, and just have it set to go for all your rounds.
There you go.
Yeah.
Indeed. And we have another super sticker from Ballistic Brian for $1.99 Australian. It's another phallic unicorn. Thank you, sir.
Why is that man so happy?
I don't know. Can't people just be happy?
I don't understand. It doesn't compute. I mean, I don't think people should be so happy.
All right.
Is that where I'm supposed to laugh?
Yes. Anyway, I'm planning on doing a stream on Sunday to talk about the lovely article that just dropped on Bleeding Fool, talking about that thing, the Whisper Network. There we go. Tired, folks. I can't remember shit at the moment. That's another long ass article, and so we'll try and drum up some of the usual suspects to go over that. It's an interesting read. I think I've maybe gotten a quarter of the way through it. It's a lot of bad. No, it's just a lot of stuff, man. It's pretty crazy because she talks about Stephanie Cook, and it's like that name sounds really, really familiar. And apparently there's a bunch of like really kind of crazy stuff that's going around with that. So, yeah. Right. Anyway, good night, everybody.